Hey there, everybody. Welcome to our review of Only Murders in the Building, Season 2, Episode 8, Hello Darkness. Hot take, start of the episode. The Sound of Silence is the best written song of all time. It may not be everybody's...
I think that's a hot take. I think that's correct.
Okay.
It is one of the best songs
not
of all
one.
time. Oh, no.
Not one.
Okay.
It is the best written song. It may not be the best overall song. I'm not saying musicality, but anytime I hear the lyrics of The Sound of Silence, I'm all in.
Yeah.
I'm ready to go.
Okay, it is good. And it was done so well in this show. I love everything about this show. We only have a couple episodes left. I can't even believe it, but we are starting to get some answers.
Finally.
Who is Glitter Guy? We all know now. Oh my God, what a great reveal.
Yeah, okay. We got to talk a lot about that, but of course, hit that subscribe button. We are here talking Only Murders in the Building every week. We've been doing Only Theories in the Buildings discussions as well. You know, there's a lot coming on. I've got on the Gut Milk shirt here in honor of this show. I'm not sure I want to drink any of that gut milk that's been sitting out in that blackout, though. I'm just saying.
Also, follow us over on Instagram, Matt and Jess TV. Thank you to everyone who's been giving us well wishes. My bunny, Miss Fifi Fontaine, she got spayed yesterday. She's doing pretty well. I've been putting some updates over there. So if you are interested in how she's doing, I'm going to continue to put updates over there. So thank you very much for everyone who's, sent in some well wishes.
Okay, Glitter Guy is Detective Krebs.
Yeah, it is. And I just also want to give a shout out to TV Talks with Tom. We did an Only Theories in the Building last week, and this was one of his theories. He thought that he was involved and that he could be Glitter Guy, and
Tom got it. The self vibe.
Yeah, this will be Tom.
There you go. So Tom, you got that.
You got that.
I mean, I'm thrilled for Tom, obviously. I'm still kind of shocked in some ways. I mean, yeah, body type wise, it makes sense. He's
Tall guy.
Yeah, tall guy. He's somebody who would, be well trained enough to run around and do all this sort of stuff. The thing I'm still kind of stuck on here to a certain extent is, what's the motive for all it? Like, why do you need to go through all of this if you were a detective? Like, why?
Okay, this is what I think is happening here. Now, the trio mentioned, they're like, what if there's multiple people involved, which is something we talked about in our last theories video. We all kind of think that there's multiple people involved. I don't think that he murdered Bunny, but I do think that he wants the evidence. So I think he wants the matchbook. And the reason he wants that is they hinted at this at the beginning of this season, that he's not very well liked. He's had some trouble. His reputation's kind of like in the gutter, and he wants to turn that around. That's what I think. So I think all of this kind of coming together for him, where he's like, oh, there's evidence. Maybe I can really pin this on Mabel or whoever, but right now Mabel, see if I can get this to stick. I'll bring her in as my caller. I'll be the hero. My reputation will go up. My stock as a cop will go up. It'll all be good for me. And that's how it'll work. High five myself, that sort of thing. So I think that's where that particular storyline is going. And that's where it kind of circles back to the possibility that Cinda and Poppy are involved somewhat in this, because it was super weird that Krebs brought them into Bunny's apartment like a few episodes ago to then meet with the other podcast and kind of be like, hey, everybody, stop doing this, stop your podcast. But they were kind of chatting a little bit when the trio came in, where they kind of maybe knew each other. It was a little bit odd.
I think there's got to be some sort of connection between all of that, because it sort of makes sense that, we heard from Poppy all about how Cinda will do anything to get her story. And like at that same exact time, we have the incident with Glitter Guy and Mabel on the train. I don't know if, Cinda's just got something on Krebs, because Krebs is like so corrupt that he is like having to sort of do her bidding in order to get through all of this.
Yeah, Poppy mentioned that Cinda's buried some bodies and she's got some info on people, and Poppy and Cinda were there the night that they all got arrested, which was really weird. They don't live in that building.
No.
They're not in a neighborhood. Same as Krebs showing up being like, hey, I just happened to be in the neighborhood. It's like, no, you didn't just happen to be in the neighborhood.
Well, let's piece this together then, because, Cinda and Poppy are there. We know Krebs is Glitter Guy. If none of them, let's just say none of them killed Bunny, because there would have had to be a lot of finagling for Cinda to do that and to be where she was and all that other sort of stuff. It's possible, but who then would actually be the person who committed the act? Like, are they on Cinda's payroll on some level? I just don't necessarily think so, because I feel like whoever did this to Bunny has still some sort of personal motive for doing it. I just don't think it's solely about money or Cinda's fame.
I feel like Marv in this episode, where he is like, I have a crazy theory.
Yeah.
It's, the 6th Street killer. It's this other serial killer, and nobody believes him. And I am that person with Charles's dad. I have seen all the comments. I don't care. I'm living on this island by myself. Cast Clint Eastwood. It'll all work out. I promise, as Charles's dad. But, that whole thing with Marv was a really cool reveal as well, where he's like, hey, I was here to try to help Lucy. We had this blackout. Yeah. I really wanted to help. I know the building. I did some work here. But it brings us then to that sneeze. Yeah. So Lucy heard somebody sneeze. I thought it was a cough. I was wrong. I will admit that. I couldn't tell. And then we have this whole romantic storyline going on with Howard and this guy who's subletting another apartment, and then the sneeze. I'm like, okay, this guy hasn't been around. You guys going to introduce this guy in episode 8 as Bunny's killer? ? Come on, you guys better not. I don't want to have another love interest killer.
I'm going to assume
in the 8th episode. Get out.
I'm just going to assume in my head that the sneeze is a red herring, and it's just something to remind us of the sneeze and just think a little bit about it. Like, what I'm sort of thinking about here is that, Detective Krebs was just so into the idea of, okay, I gotta get to Lucy. I gotta speak to Lucy. And apparently, whoever was in the catacombs that night ended up seeing Lucy to some extent. But, if Krebs isn't the killer, then what? Did the killer describe to Krebs who Lucy was and what she looked like? What's the connection there?
Yeah, it's there might not be a connection. He may have been in the building looking to try to get that evidence and get that matchbook or figure something else out. I mean, it's hard to know. Maybe he thinks that Lucy has more evidence than she did.
Okay, quick update on my Jared theory watch here. I found it super, super suspicious that Nina was around and had this big story in this episode. Jared was nowhere to be seen. Her man, for a while, I thought this episode was confirming to me that Jared was Glitter Guy, because it's like, okay, why isn't he there? What's going on there? But he's still not around. But by the way, I love the stuff with Nina in this episode. I don't know why her and Brimley from the Blacklist, which is forever what I will call him, it's just this was so good.
Yeah, it was really good. And it showed that Nina's very conflicted in everything that's going on by really modernizing this building and sort of out with the old, in with the new kind of thing, that she's trying to find a way to balance it, that they can maybe move sort of into the new, but still find a way to keep some of the stuff about this building and the people in the building, working and all of that sort of stuff. And I'm just kind of like, the Arconia feels like it would be kind of a historical landmark at this point. This building's been around a very long time.
Yeah.
Who's allowing people to put this on the top of a building? Who approved this in the city? It's so weird.
Maybe it is a big government official who's got some sort of financial incentive in all of this, and maybe Jared, you killed Bunny. You're also a secret government official. You're approving all of this. No, I'm going to go full crazy here at this point.
Well, that's the thing about it. They've shown us Jared
I know it's probably not him. It's not that interesting.
So if he ends up actually, like I said, we only got a couple episodes left. If this ends up being someone that we've only met one time, or there's lots of people that think that there's a theory. The theory is that Charles has a half brother. Okay, we have 2 episodes left. If they show up some half brother with no mention that there could be a half brother, there's no clues there could be a half brother, there's nothing going on about a half brother. If they introduce Paul Rudd in the last episode as a half brother and is like, I did it, I'm just going to be like really disappointed in that. Because one of the beautiful things about this show that makes it as fun as it is they give us, the audience, enough clues to really figure out who it is. And there's been nothing about a half brother. So I'm standing on that island that there could be a half brother, but he didn't kill Bunny.
No, the Charles's dad theory works just because of the idea that they've brought up Charles's dad enough, and he's been a part of the story, and
fathers in general. Yeah. I've said this multiple times. Like, this has been the theme of the season. We have the Oliver and Will story, Charles and Charles's dad's story. We had a story with Mabel and her dad. Now we had Marv in this episode also talking about his estranged relationship with his daughter and how he wishes to fix that. There's just so much just circling and smoke around fathers this season that I don't know how, even if Charles's dad didn't kill anyone, I feel like there's going to be a big reveal at the end of this season that his dad is alive.
The last thing I'll say here is just that, Oliver, your storyline with your biological son getting those results, they need to just give us that already. I'm like, that's the only part of this I'm annoyed by. It's like it's taken weeks to just get these stinking results at this point.
Yeah, no, this doesn't need to continue on unless there's some sort of bigger reveal that it's connected somehow to the murder, because yeah, I've seen you guys talking about that in the comments too, that you guys think that Will is shifty, that there's something going on there, and it's possible. And speaking of someone else who's also shifty and making money during this blackout, it's Ursula, the gut milk lady. Gut milk. Did you see her? She's handing them out like they're drugs and being like, first one is free.
That's so messed up.
She is making money. She has motive. I'm not completely off of her as a possibility. Bunny told people they're not allowed to sell stuff in the building. Bunny's not around anymore. And now she's down in the lobby being like, here. Like, she's allowed to do whatever she wants now. And she's making cash.
I don't know if she's the killer, but you a bad person, Ursula. Like, that is the thing that I know for sure, is that you may like singing The Sound of Silence. That does not atone for all of your other actions. But okay, well, we will be back with more theories, more discussion. So hit that subscribe button so you guys don't miss any of that, and we'll see you here next time.